top 2 most memorable interviews?
For me, and here go the fan, Magic came on FT for an hour and some change. First time I ever met him, and that was like a moment. Like
It's Magic. That was my favorite player growing up too. I was with you.
Grandma, look at me now, huh?
My whole heart broke.
Grandma, look at me now.
yo, y'all know how Magic, how cool he is. I
Yeah.
remember one day
Super cool.
calling his assistant on Christmas Day, like probably like 5 years ago, and I was like, "Is Magic around on Christmas Day?" Because it was Laker game. They always play on Christmas Day. I want him to speak to my grandmother. Do you know he got on the phone and talked to my grandmother for
Really?
5 minutes? Do you know she could have died and went to heaven at that
Yeah,
moment?
yeah.
The look in her eyes, she was so happy. I've never seen this woman flinch, be nervous. She's so like well put together. She was so nervous, so happy. I was like, I'm all set. That was it. That's all I ever did. So that was
Yeah.
one. Shoot, another one. Oh, I don't necessarily know if this was a great interview, but do you guys remember when Chad Johnson came on First Take right after he got kicked out of the league for allegedly not touching his then wife or ex-wife?
Domestic violence.
Yeah.
too.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember the detail.
That was one of the most memorable moments because they came at his head, and when I tell you it was like a Spanish Inquisition, I felt so bad for him. And then they were like, okay, you could, and then to be a part of that, to ask all these questions, and see him how you could cut the tension with a knife. It was like you can't turn away from it because he wasn't talking, but they were. It was crazy. Chad just was not backing down, and I was proud of him. But it was one of those moments. That, and like, remember those there were so many of these different moments where you sitting and you watching these people, like when T.O. came on there, he looked like he wanted to fight Skip. Like those moments, you can't relive those moments. Like to be there when they're getting ready to go at each other and commercial break, you're just like, oh shit, somebody about to get beat. I literally felt T.O. was about to jump across the table and beat Skip's ass. Like it was that uncomfortable because up until that moment, T.O. hadn't talked to anybody. And Skip used to talk so bad about him.
Yeah.
Remember
Killing him.
when he was a Cowboy? He was talking so bad about him.
killing him.
T.O. is an emotional guy. Anyway, you could just feel like he was about to jump out of the screen and beat his. So there was one of those moments.